Hello, everyone. The afternoon version of Softball Grandpa. My name's Rich. I'm a addict alcoholic, recovering addict alcoholic. Kind of stuck in the '70s, maybe. Um, I was talking this morning about the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and it'll shine when it shines, and all that good stuff. And then I was tilling, I made breakfast. I was doing stuff around the garage and in the house and watching the news. And I recalled yesterday, my younger brother called me, said, "Hey man, can you help me out with some stuff? He wants to do something in the shed at his house." And I said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Give me a call in the morning." And I look at it's 9:30. So it was kind of late. So I went over there and helped him out. Went to Home Depot, got what we needed, took the truck and all that stuff. Kicked my butt. It was hot today. But when I was driving back from his house, he lives in Monterey Park off of Garfield. So went down Garfield, rather than getting on the 10 freeway. I said, I'm going to go down Mission. And I was going to go drive by the old Mission High School and the church, because it's been there forever. It's on, El Camino Real. And doing so, I drove by, there was buses in the parking lot, so I didn't go in there, and I was all sweaty. But I always like to, it's my old stomping grounds. Me and my two other brothers, we live within a 10-mile radius of where we grew up. Don't ask me why, but that's what it is. But I'll be moving to Arizona, next year, so that's another thing. But getting back to the point at hand, I'm kind of stuck in the '70s. When I was in the other shop in my house, at the laundry room shop, and I found some paperwork, from 1974, and also 1991, when I went to apply for a pardon, and because I was a convicted felon for 20 years, and I had my felony reduced to a misdemeanor, but that was not a very good time in my life. And then the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, they were kind of popular back there in the '70s about that, and I could relate to some of the songs, like, you might think I'm wasting time, but I'm just a good old boy that's learned to wait. And that's, I have to have patience, So, with that being said, I would ask the younger folk, my grandchildren, check out the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and look at some of the stuff that my parents and I grew up with, And we used to watch, and we used to have black and white TV in the '60s, and maybe the late '60s we got color TV. Boy, that was something else with color TV. Holy cannoli, that was awesome. But grew up watching Combat, Gilligan's Island, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons, and all that stuff, and the after evening news. Well, we had to watch whatever Dad watched, So Bonanza on Sunday night, Lawrence Welk, Bonanza, and hey, you got something to say? Go outside. Go outside. Get out. Go on. Don't be a chicken dog. Look, he's letting Henry do all the footwork. Yeah, I got some. One of them made a whole bowl of Cheez-Its I left on the dining room table, and but anyway, getting back to the point at hand. We grew up. I think we were pretty lucky. The '70s was, well, maybe lucky and not so good lucky. Out of all I have 5 brothers and sisters. And out of all of them, well, there's 6 kids altogether. And I think I had the worst luck, but I feel the luckiest, because number one, I'm alive. Holy, and number 2, I'm not spending my whole life in jail. And I cleaned up my act, and I found the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous and some good sponsors who helped me along the way, even though back when I originally started in '87, I relapsed 3 times before I finally got it in '91, And I keep trying to look at the camera, and but you know, it's music. Music soothes the soul. It really does, you know, and I know that I can relate to a lot of different music. You know, one of my favorite artists was Joe Walsh and the Eagles, you know, and then, you know, I like Vince Gill. You know, I took my sister to go see Vince Gill, and you know, pretty good seats, and it was awesome, you know. The only one I didn't see solo was Glenn Frey. I've seen all the other ones solo, and so and I took my younger brother. We went to the Sphere in Vegas and saw the Eagles, and you know, Russ said that was the best concert he'd been to. You know, so that made me feel good. You know, it cost a lot of money, but you know, it was worth it. You know, we're getting no, might as well spend the money, huh? You know, so maybe maybe the kids won't have nothing left if we spend it all, huh? You know, but I think they'll be okay. And but anyway, that's the afternoon version of Softball Grandpa. This rich alcoholic addict. Do something for somebody else for fun and for free because you want to, with no expectations in return. Be patient. Be patient. And try to help somebody else. You know, phone call, hey, how you doing? Whatever it may be. You know, if you're back in the Midwest, Mark and Sherry, you know, I miss you guys. I really enjoyed you guys when you guys came out. Maybe I should jump on a plane and fly out there. But maybe I'll let it warm up in the hotel, you know. It was only like 85 degrees here today, you know. Can't believe it. You know, what day, February 3rd, Hawkeye? Look, Hawkeye, he's a patient dog. Where is he? Say hi, Hawkeye. But anyway. Gotta wet my whistle. Anyway, if any of my grandkids have any ideas or if they want me to talk about something that they didn't understand, or if they have a question, you know, my phone, you know, my phone number is get it from Laura and Kim. They know my phone number. If I'm going to put this on YouTube, maybe I probably shouldn't put my phone number out there. But that's just me, you know. Maybe one day I will. I might change my phone number, so who knows. Okay, everybody, love you guys all. Do something for somebody else for fun and for free because you want to, with no expectations in return. Signing off. See you tomorrow.